Here we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Codex Station's Comics Unleashed. It's Saturday night. Get your pools out. Get your back issues out. We got a lot of stuff to show off tonight. I'm your host tonight, Sal the Slab Guy. We have a very special guest star over there. Hagan from Lettuce Comics is joining us. And Gary, don't we say that if he comes back, it's all his fault?
Oh, it's all his fault. Anything that goes wrong, anything that happens bad, he brought this on himself.
That's what I've been told. Yeah,
all on you, buddy. It's all on
that
you.
was in the waiver. It was.
Yeah, it was in the waiver. The first
that was
time,
the waiver.
First time it's on us. The second time, it's your fault.
That is so true. That is so true. We also got Dan the Kelly art right down there, and of course, down below me is the Ric Flair of comics,
Woo!
Uncle Gary. So, how you guys doing on a Saturday?
Doing all right.
Doing good.
All right.
Yes.
Making it.
Getting by. Getting by.
Getting by. There you go.
Do anything good this week? Do we have some good back issues to show off?
I got kind of one and a half back issue.
1.5 back issue? Oh,
well, I got one back issue, really back issue, and another one that's like 4 or 5 months old. That's
X-Factorian.
The best X-Factorian. There you go.
Yeah. So, Uncle Gary, what's our showcase secret word of the night?
Let's see. Shadowy doppelgangers.
All right.
So you want to type? There's something fun for you to type.
Yeah, I know. Actually, that shadowy doppelgangers.
And if you don't put the accent above the O, then it doesn't count.
Well, there you go.
Jeez.
I wouldn't even know where that button is on the computer.
You mean over the A? I thought it was over the A. We're talking about doppelgangers, right?
Yeah.
I think it's over the A.
Yeah. I'll be, back issue. I'll have some in.
Welcome. That's the wrong one. This is the one we want to show tonight. There we go. We're in the pre-show, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Codex Station, and of course, because of that little mess up there, it's Hagan's fault.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know we were blaming him for stuff we do wrong. I thought.
We do it. Yeah, we are.
I thought it was just we're blaming him.
That was awesome.
If he doesn't have a good time, that's his fault.
Also in the waiver. That was also in the waiver.
That's also in the waiver?
Yep. Honorary scapegoat.
He's our scapegoat.
I had to initial beside that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm just.
Strangely though, he didn't initial the part where he has to say Beast is an X-Men. He didn't initial that part, so I can't force him to do anything on that part.
Well, he knows. He knows.
No, Gary, I was just looking at the Big Lick website to see who the guests were.
Only one guest of note, and that's Jim Shooter, unless they've added somebody.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. No, these are the ones it says for Roanoke.
Yeah, don't look at Roanoke. That's not going to help you.
Right. It just says like real big comic creators, and then it's like a picture of Mark Waid. I'm like, oh, is he here? Then I'm scrolling through like, why the hell do you have a picture of him? He's not there.
Yeah, I think the Big Lick one here, the only comic guest of note or that resonates with me is Jim Shooter.
I would love to. I would get Jim Shooter's autograph. It would just be all right,
Well, he was there last year.
Autographed.
I think he was there last year too.
I don't remember seeing him last year.
He was there. Or you know what? Maybe he was at the Fairfax one because we have two. We have the Fairfax. We have the Fairfax Comic Con, and we have the Big Lick Comic Con. So maybe he was at Fairfax. Got to talk to him about the Legion. He was doing those Legion stories. He was 14 years old.
No, because the one that me and Sal went to, it was Jimmy and Amanda were there, and the Simonsons were there. Like they were the big ones.
That was Big Lick.
Yeah.
I mean, that was definitely Big Lick. Yeah.
Yep. I got him to sign my Beta Rays, but then I turned around and traded them for 9/8 copies of the Beta Ray Bill ones with that one guy, that one vendor, I forget his name.
And then you cracked the Slabs to take to Baltimore to get signed, and you never got them signed.
Didn't get them signed because every time I got in their line, they were closing down, they were heading out, type of thing.
They're tricky. That's why I was happy to have had that extra time at Big Lick Comic Con to talk to him, because we were set up there, we get to interact with him every day.
Yeah.
So nice before the show, after the show. So it was really
Right.
they're good. They're good people.
All right. Well, let's
Good
get some
people.
business out of the way before we start the show then. Like I said before, I'm your host, Sal the Slab Guy. You can find me in the Slabatorium, but you can also find me on YouTube under Sal's Comic Corner or Instagram as the Slab Guy 77. Hagan, I still have your stuff up here. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you? What do you do?
You can find me on Instagram at lettuce.comics and YouTube at lettuce comics. Hey, Ryan, what are you doing, buddy? And yeah, I mean, I haven't been posting as many like main channel videos, but I have been doing a lot of live streams and stuff. Generally, I'm on Alan, the Comic Collector Geeks Friday shows, and we are actually, me and Nate of Hollywood Comics are having him on our Sunday morning show tomorrow. No, it's going to be tomorrow, but at some point it's going to be today. I get a feeling. So, but tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning, grab you a cup of coffee and come hang out with us. But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
That's
Very
cool.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's
Well,
a
right
good
down below.
Sunday brunch.
Yeah, it is. Down below you is Dan the Kelly Art.
Hello,
Dan.
Mr. Pete.
Oops, sorry, buddy. Put your stuff up there. Tell everybody about your stuff there.
Yeah, it's Instagram. Just search Dan Kelly Art. You'll find me. It's the picture that's got the logo that looks like this for the pins that I got made.
Dan Kelly Art.
Remember, pins, stickers are all free. You get a commission, and you get those, and you get those for free with them. Or even better, almost everything that's up there is for sale. So just buy something that's already done, and you'll get it that much faster, and then you'll get that stuff.
And if it goes to CGC, he can get that pretty yellow label because he is genuine, bona fide, certified, and recognized.
As long as CGC doesn't.
Well, that's not. We don't
go there.
We're talking about good stuff. We're talking about good stuff.
Hello, Jamie. Hello, Richard. Hello, Pam. Welcome all.
All right.
Did Pam say she wanted us to talk more sports today? Is that what she said?
I think she did.
Did she say that? Okay.
Yep.
We don't want to let her down.
We got to talk more sports with Pam.
Yeah, Jimmy and Amanda.
There you go.
They're fun to talk to. They're nice.
It was fantastic. Okay, thank you, Adam.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's right. They'll stand there and chat with you. They're not like, they're not kind of just saying, sign the book and push you on your way, or like sign the book and then go back to working on something while you're trying to talk to them. Like, they're nice. They'll actually stand there, have a conversation with you.
Yeah, they're good people.
Yeah.
All right. Then right next to you is, like we said before, the Ric Flair of comics,
Woo!
the preacher of the lore, the curator of the Library of Comics. It's Uncle Gary.
Hello. Thank you for joining us. Comic Logic. We are Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. Please come in and see us. We would love to make your acquaintance. And we are in the Northern Virginia area, so if you're there, you come on and say hi to us. We'd love to see you. You can catch me, Mighty Mike Harbor, Rob Kalin, every Wednesday morning, getting that 4-color ink. We get it right in there, baby. We get it pumped right in there. Told you once, told you twice, told you a million times. Reading comic books make you strong. You start out, you're just lifting one book. Next thing you know, you got a stack. Then you got a short box, and you got a long box, and you're lifting them and stacking them all the way to the ceiling, and you get jacked and you get packed because you read comic books, baby. Also, do a few push-ups. So there you go, Comic Logic. We've got a couple really good events coming up. We have our Free Comic Book Day, which I believe is May 3rd. May 3rd is Free Comic Book Day, first Saturday in May, and we will have the young lady depicted there, Diana Lee Insanto.
Yep.
She is martial arts royalty, the daughter of Daniel Insanto, and the goddaughter of Bruce Lee. It doesn't get any more pedigreed than that. So you come see her, get her signature. Sal will be there. Hopefully Dan will be there. And come Free Comic Book Day and meet her. We would love to see you. So 2 weeks later, on Sunday, the 18th of May, we have our Spring Lot Con, where we will turn our parking lot into a mini Comic Con. We'll have about 30 vendors, I believe. We'll have comics. We'll have artists, local authors, local artists, jewelry, toys, even tattoos.
Yes.
So when you want to get that tramp stamp or watch Sal get his, right there you go. You can see it happen. Rob gets a tattoo every time. So we can see Rob getting a tattoo if that's what floats your boat. So come do that. We would love to have you. And then 2 weeks after that, on Sunday, June 8th, we have the one and only Jim Calafori for an in-store signing. He's an artist that had a long run on Exiles, on Aquaman, has done some Batman books. He's currently doing
Gotham Underground was good.
Yeah, Gotham Underground was really good. He's currently doing Defenders of Earth.
Secret Six.
Secret Six, absolutely. So he's got Leaving Megapolis, the independent book he did with Gail Simone. So just fantastic. And he will be selling copies of his work, Ned, Lord of the Pit. Dan has both volumes of them. I have volume 1, and I look forward to getting volume 2, which he's just completed. And it's just a great story about an ordinary guy named Ned that becomes Lord of a Pit in hell. So,
Yes.
Hilarity ensues. So come see Jim Calafori in person. He'll be doing some quick sketches for free. If you want something more elaborate, you may have to negotiate with him, but there he is, the man, Jim Calafori. So come see him, meet him. He's a good dude. Dan, Sal, and I have all met him. Hagan, have you met Calafori?
I have not. No.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
good guy.
Good.
Good guy.
We
So
did a short interview with him on our Baltimore Comic-Con video a couple years ago.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. So to have him in store will be pretty cool. So we're looking forward to that. So please come see that. Always, we also want to give some love to the comic character of the day site, sounded by Archduke Kevy, and now being run by our one and only Dan Kelly over there. He is running that show. He's putting up the characters of the day. We're in the middle of a Justice League month, and the only deviations are on Thursday, where we give we pay homage to our whoever our character of the day is. But I post the cover of the day. So does Talking Geek. So a lot of times you get two covers for the low price of one. So it's awesome stuff. So today, speaking of two-fers, today was Power Girl. You doesn't get any more two-fer than that.
That's so true.
There you go.
If you get a twofer, you're one short of a shocker.
Well, there you go. There you go. So
And that was my fault.
yeah.
That was my fault.
Hagan's fault. No.
Hagan's sitting there nodding, is like, God, why did I agree to this again?
There's no blame there. That is good stuff. That you should be proud to claim that. And Power Girl, one of her powers is it's impossible for her to drown. Just impossible. So when you carry your own flotation devices everywhere you go, that is if you're on a water planet, you're with her, you're good. So as we finish that salacious diatribe, let's take it back up to the man in the Slabatorium with the controls, Mr. Sal, who is, what'd you say, is it chilly, 39 degrees in there?
Yeah, a cool, crisp 39 degrees.
39 degrees. There you go.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, you can always find us at thecodexstation.com. Head over there, get some merch, meet the team. There's bios up there. There's a list of what we have on there of all our shows, and there's so much more. And also, it lists ways you can find it. There's Uncle Gary. How can they find us? Oh, sorry, Dan.
Well,
we throw it up there.
There you go. Well, Sal mentioned what we have.
Gonorrhea.
You can look at us. We're positively dripping with what we have.
Oh.
We have all the socials, every damn one, and we would love to give them to you, baby.
That's right. That's right. All you gotta do is hit that button, like you said. It's only a quick click for you, but it means the world to us. Yep. Thank you, Richard, for that. Good transition there.
Richard wants to know if Chris ever hangs out at the store.
Yes,
Yeah.
Chris does hang out at the store. Chris will be up next weekend. Chris will be up, and I'm sure we will be at the store. But if if you want to have a Chris sighting, Chris, for those May events, you may see Chris. So
that's right.
You never know.
He hangs
on this channel. Chris hangs out sometimes. So
he hangs out right around the corner from the store in a trench coat, and he's like, "Hey kid, come here, I got what you want."
Candy.
You figure that he's going to be selling drugs, and he opens up, and it's just full of pixie sticks. What flavor? I got them all.
I got them all.
He
those are great.
Yeah, I have no idea. Next Saturday night we're hanging out, so I don't know if I will be on this show or not. And if I am on the show, he might be here too. So
All right.
Hey, he's always welcome back.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
A GoFundMe will be started for Gary and as bail money.
Bail money. Listen, that is always a consideration with Chris.
Oh, yeah.
What's up,
Yep.
Talking Geek? Talking Geek, who was on with us, who was on
Last
last week in place of me.
Yep.
She was. Did a great job. It's good to
Yes,
have.
it did. Yep.
You know, Gary, I was looking. Yeah, Jim Shooter's the big one at Big Lick, but Rick Leonardi is going to be there, so that's not bad. You know, first 25 issues of Spider-Man 2099, a bunch of other stuff.
When isn't he one of the co-creators of Cloak and Dagger?
Yeah, he had a run on Cloak and Dagger. I'd have to
I don't know
look
if he created him.
co-creator.
Did he? I think he did.
But I don't think he was. I think he might have drawn their first series, but I don't think he co-created them.
Okay, maybe he didn't.
Because they appeared in Spider-Man first. So, but
Yes,
yeah,
maybe he was.
he's got a lot of stuff, and I'm seeing Spider-Man, Thor, Daredevil, Vision, Scarlet Witch. I'm like, you know what? These are all Avengers. So maybe if he's doing something like, if I'm able to make it, I'd be like, hey, how much to add an Avenger to my piece, to my jam piece?
There you go. All right, guys, are you ready to kick off the show then?
I can't wait till somebody draws the Beast as an Avenger. That will just make my freaking day.
Well, you know what? If it gets to the point where it's starting to get filled up and Beast isn't there, because right now, I have that Avengers Jam piece. Like, I don't tell or
tell them who to draw.
What to draw. I just give it to. I just negotiate the price with them. I show it to them like, hey, how much to add a character to this, and I tell them it's just pencil. You don't have to ink it or color it, and you could do whatever character you want, whatever costume you want. Like, just
as long as they were Avenger.
Yeah, as long as they were an Avenger, which is pretty much everyone in Marvel at this point. It's like if you say, if I was doing a Justice League one, and I was like, as long as they're on the Justice League, and they're like, okay, so everyone that's ever been in DC that's a hero, and some villains. Gotcha.
Part of the Justice Battalion. That's right.
Yep. All right, so the only way I'll accept Beast is on that Avengers Jam piece if he's got like 2 women flanking him. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll go with that. That's fine.
Well, it might get to the point because everybody so far has drawn men on there. So if I get 1 or 2 more artists to add to it and there's no female Avengers, I might have to start, if not asking for specific characters, at least saying like, hey, can you...
It's an X-Men.
I like that.
I might have to start saying like, hey, can you draw, one of the women Avengers, Scarlet Witch or She-Hulk or someone.
Yep. All right, guys, let's go ahead and kick off the main show then. Let's get out of this pre-show. And we're just going to go right to the opener. So we'll see you guys in about 15 seconds. Stick around. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Codex Station. It's Saturday night. It's Comics Unleashed. Get your weekly pulls out. Get your back issues out because we got some stuff to go into. I'm your host tonight, Salad Slab Guy. Right there next to me is our special guest tonight, is Hagan from Lettuce Comics.
Yes,
down below him is Dan the Man Kelly. And, of course, down below me is the Ric Flair of Comics.
Woo!
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. Hagan, since you're our guest of honor, why don't you go first tonight?
Yeah, so I've got a...
Oh, let's make it big screen. Hang on there. Don't get too excited. All right.
Make him big screen. Let everybody see that magnificent beard that he has.
There you go.
And those great books behind him.
I've got a couple things for you. Yeah, I've been really lucky with my wall here.
Look, hey, that's Swamp Thing 9. Love it.
Yeah, it sure is. I got that on sale I got that on sale at my LCS for like $25, something like that.
Nice. What condition is it?
It's a solid mid-grade.
But that's a great book. It's a great cover.
I've got no problems with it.
How many do you own right now, Gary?
I think 14. My favorite cover of all time. So yes, I appreciate you representing there.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And we got next to it, Lois Lane.
Yeah. So this is a book that I had to get because of my friendship with Nate from Hollywood Comics. This is Lois Lane, number 54, and this is the first and only appearance of Herco, the monster that loved Lois Lane.
Oh, Herco.
I'm still very jealous of your Avengers 4.
Yeah, it's in a prominent place too.
I found some in that price range at Baltimore last year, but they were not as good. One of them had a big stamp at the top that had the kid's name of it, and the condition of it was beautiful otherwise, but it had that stamp there, and I was like, all I'm going to see, I'm going to be drawn to that. And they had one that was a couple $100 cheaper, but I don't know if you saw the video where he talked about it. Whatever little prick had it, he cut the corner box out. I'm like, okay, I could live with that because it was perfectly cut out, perfectly still. Like, I could live with that. But the little bastard cut Iron Man out of the cover too. So there's just like a big hole in the side of the cover where he just cut out. I'm like, did you really hate Iron Man, or did you love him so much that you had to like tape that part up on your wall? I'm like,
he probably put him on like a trapper keeper or something.
Probably, yep, yeah.
So I had to. I was like, I can't get that. The price is right, but I can't get that. I would always just look at that.
Cringe, right? That's not a book you want.
Well, when you're spending as much money as you would have to on a book like that, you need to make sure that you can look at it and not cringe for sure.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're patient enough to be happy. But there's a book
that also applies to marriage.
I might have to change my name to that, Booge. I like that. Machine Gun Dan Kelly.
But I'm going to show some stuff that's not quite an Avengers 4. So enjoy. The first thing that I'm going to show you is I've gotten a lot of like AOKs, and I've visited some people and they've given me books, and so I've got a lot of that stuff here. This is Van Damme Cyborg.
Wow,
I remember that one.
Muscles from Brussels.
Yeah, my friend Eric from SideQuest Comics showed this off on one of his shows, and I just love stuff that's ridiculous. And this is ridiculous because it's Van Damme. So I said that I had to have it. I put it on my list.
Van Damme ridiculous.
Oh, you know what? I have to send you this thing that I sent it to a couple friends of mine that I saw on Instagram. It was somebody took a couple scenes from Star Wars and they replaced R2-D2 with Van Damme from like Bloodsport, but he's got like a little R2-D2 hat, like hat on top of him. And then these little mini tank tracks that he's on, and when they're like, R2, get it going, and this Van Damme going, and then like hitting the thing. Oh, it's so
fantastic. Well, equally as stupid as that is this. This is Samurai Penguin.
Wow.
Wow. I'm a big fan of the spoof turtle books because each of them is more stupid than the next. And so I've got to have all of them. And then we've got the new Teen Titans. It's a drug awareness issue.
Oh, nice.
IBM.
Talking Geek loves those books.
Yeah.
He's showing off the first one of them last week.
And Chonko sent this to me as just an AOK. This is a trade paperback of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I have been wanting to read this for a while, and I sat down to read it today. I just wanted to like flip through like the first issue. I ended up tearing through the whole thing. It's really, really ridiculously good.
Mike swears by it. He loves that book.
It's ridiculously good. It's if Dexter from the TV show Dexter were a bear, and it's 8 issues long. But it's very, very good. And then I'm going to use this book as an excuse to talk about something else. But this is Daniel, like this. This is Captain America number 438.
I've got that. God, that armor was
the worst power armor, like in the 90s. I would put it to you. But I say this to say that I have long been on a quest to get all 367 issues of Volume 1. This isn't the last one, but I'm down to 12 left. So I'm super, super happy about that.
Oh wow, you're doing good. And so you're from 100 up, right? Starting at 100?
Yes.
And I am proud to say that I was able to contribute to that.
You absolutely were.
So so when he had, so when you have it complete, which is epic because he's my favorite character too. I'll be proud to know that someone I know that has the complete run, that I was able to help them do it. That I was able to add my one small little part to it.
Your name's on the backing board. And I don't like sell or give away or trade comics like that. So yeah, your name's on the backing board, and it will be in that collection for I was going to say as long as I have it, but probably until after I die, because I can't see me giving that up anytime soon.
Will you go back and get the Tales of Suspense or the Tales of Suspense ones?
That's a goal for sure.
50,
And I
58, 57,
yeah,
58,
from
58.
From 58 to 99. Yeah, that is a goal of mine.
I think I have 57 up because it was the first Hawkeye, but those are good books to have.
Yeah. And then next is my friend Nate from Hall Yeah gave this to me. This is Desert Storm Send Hussein to Hell.
Oh God.
Wow.
And it's a thick book too. But my dad was in Desert Storm, and I just
nice.
This is awesome.
What does he think of that book?
He thinks it's ridiculous and overly masculine and all the things that we love about comic books. But
nice.
Yeah,
I did not even know that existed. I do remember the trading cards though.
Yeah, I didn't know it existed either, and I said that I had to have it, and Nate went out and he got it for me.
Nice.
This was given to me by Dope of Dope Comics, and this is Dinosaurs Attack #1.
Wow.
It says book 1 of 3. I don't think there are 2 more. Like I think this was the only one that they put out, but it's an awesome cover.
That's all Trimpy on there. Is that Herb Trimpy that did it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And now, like these are the last 3 that I have. This is like I love all of that stuff, and that's the stuff that I'm interested in. But this is the stuff that like other people might be interested in. Cheddar Comics on Instagram has live sales every now and then, and for I believe it was $5, I was able to pick up the first appearance of Rocketeer, which is something that I've wanted for a good long while, and I just think that is super super cool. And Cheddar,
have you read that book?
I have not gotten to read it yet. No,
the Star Slayer story is no slouch either. By Mike Drill.
So, hey,
oh my God, that would be such a terrible story.
Wow.
I looked up that Dinosaurs Attack, and you are correct. CLZ only lists that one issue.
Mm-hmm.
And but there is another title called Dinosaurs Attack by IDW Publishing, and that had 5 issues.
Okay.
But I don't think it's not the same series. It came out in 2013.
Yeah, that one's Eclipse.
Yeah.
So I think that for some reason the people decided that they didn't want it, but I don't understand why the people decided that they didn't want it, because that's enough to get my foot in the door.
There you go.
But good for you for the Star Slayer. I'm happy you got that book. I love that series.
Yeah.
Wasn't there an ad for the Rocketeer in the issue before that, like on the back cover?
I think something like that.
Can't remember. Grimjack also first appeared in Star Slayer.
Yeah. Grimjack had the crossover with him too, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I am mostly a Marvel collector, and a Marvel and like weird indie book collector, and I've been trying to like step my foot into DC, and the characters that have like most popped out to me are like the older Silver Age Aquaman, because Nick Cardy's a genius, and the Spectre. I just think that like a character whose whole essence can be like boiled down to the physical embodiment of the wrath of God, like that's metal as hell, you know?
Yeah.
And so in a trade that I did with Big B McFly, the comic book guy, I had a bunch of duplicates of my Captain America run, because you guys know that when you guys are trying to fill in runs, like you'll pick up stuff that you forgot that you had, or people will send you stuff that you already have, and then you can take the stuff that's in your collection and then move it out. But I took a lot of those duplicates and traded them to him, a bunch of like Silver Age, but mostly like bronze and copper and later. And he sent me a bunch of stuff, but the highlights were, there's this, which is the Spectre #10.
That's
now my
last issue. Yep.
My webcam is doing this some help. It's lower grade, and there's a bit of a marker there, but I don't care at all.
That's a great cover.
I'm not a stickler for that kind of stuff. And there's also this
#1. Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I've got the bookends of the series. I just need to fill it in, and then I can read the whole thing.
And Hagan, I would tell you to go a step further too if you're digging the Spectre, and get the 10 issues in Adventure Comics from 430 to 440 or 431 to 440. Those are Spectre issues drawn by Jim. There's one of them. Yep, drawn by Jim Aparo.
Yeah.
And that's the you talk about the Wrath of God. That's the Wrath of God Spectre, where he's turning people into blocks of wood and sawing them up. Michael Fleischer did was the writer on those, or Mike, yeah. And those books are brutal. So so there you got 10 issues on the 1 through 10 and 10 issues on the Adventure Comics run, and they're also being reprinted. Again, they are DC is reissuing the big omnibus Wrath of Spectre that they are all into. So that's another way to get them.
It's very manageable. It's a lot easier to get a 20 issue run than a 367 issue run.
Absolutely. And one of the highlights I got last year was I got a More Fun Spectre from 1941.
Very cool.
Got More Fun 60. So the Spectre is a top 3 hero for me. So for me, it's Aquaman, Swamp Thing, and Spectre. Those three. And so to have somebody being converted to the Spectre or loving it, I just that character is so cool, such a great origin. And the Mandrake and Ostrander run from the 90s, 62 issues, it's phenomenal. It seems that they are going to collect that into omnibuses too, which is an amazing book, run of a book to get. So I would recommend that to you too.
Yeah, well, I see those. I see the Ostrander run in like the dollar bin at my comic book store.
They're cheap, except for 54, the first Mr. Terrific, and 62, the last issue.
Yeah, I see those there, so I'm definitely gonna search those out. And yeah, your three that you mentioned, the Spectre, Aquaman, and Swamp Thing. I just recently read. I read all of Alan Moore's run. And I went and read The Green Hell because I love Jeff Lemire.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
And it was fantastic. Yeah. So those three that you mentioned are those hit me where I live as well.
I love Lemire as a writer, not as an artist. So thank goodness Mankey did the art on that Green Hell. Oh my God, it was brutal. But
I really like Lemire as an artist. For certain things. Have you read Essex County?
I haven't read Essex County, but I know that I couldn't get past Sweet Tooth, to the art on Sweet Tooth.
The thing about Essex County to me is that it's a very down to earth story about like different people in this rural Canadian town, and the way that Jeff Lemire draws them, you really get a sense of melancholy and brokenness. So, like, along with his writing, his art style really, really does do a good job of conveying the tone of the book. But I get that it's not for everybody.
Yeah, I just can't. It hurts me to look at it. But I love his writing. And for Swamp Thing, do yourself one more favor: read the 10 issues of Wrightson and Lenween, the original ones, plus the House of Secrets 92, that. Where the character first kicked off. And
I have read the House of Secrets 92. I read it online, but I have read that.
Good, you've read that, and which of course is a different character. It's still Swamp, but it's Alex Olson, not Alec Holland. But the first 10 issues of Ween and Wrightson are so worth reading. So
now, what are your thoughts for Spectre? What are your thoughts on the not just Corrigan, but the other hosts that he had? When it was Hal Jordan for a while, and when it was Chris Allen for a while. Do you have an interest in those as well, or just the Corrigan one?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it. This is one of those things where I don't have a big breadth of knowledge for DC. And so I'm picking up what I can and learning what I can when I can. So like you saying that Hal Jordan was the host of the Spectre at one point, didn't know that. Now I do. And I won't forget.
It was after, because in 0 Hour, or before Zero, after Emerald Twilight, he became Parallax when they introduced Kyle. And then he was a bad guy for a long time. And then in Final Night, he sacrificed himself to reignite the sun. And then it's like, all right, Hal's dead. And then they made him the Spectre. And that was supposed to be his way of redeeming himself. I haven't read too much of it, but because I initially thought well, that's stupid, but I've heard a lot of people say good things about it, and I think D. Mateus wrote.
It's okay. It's okay, but the Spectre needs to be Corrigan.
And Christmas Allen, I mean, I haven't read a whole lot of him outside of the DC crossovers, but I mean, that is a really cool name.
Christmas Allen. I liked him better as a Spectre than Hal.
Yeah.
Just because Hal, I had other ideas where Hal should be, but Corrigan is a Spectre, and the Spectre covers are all fantastic.
Yeah.
And during that 62 issue run with Mandrake and Orstrander, they had a lot of people doing covers that weren't even comic book artists. They were artists of album covers and things like that. So you had and you had great comic artists as well on it. So, you know, that run is worth collecting just for the daggone covers. And you mentioned Cardi earlier.
Mm-hmm.
When Cardi left Aquaman, Aparo took over, and Aparo drew a great Aquaman too. And Hagan, I know you're not as much a DC guy. Have you looked at Cardi's horror covers?
I don't believe so. No.
Oh man, look at covers for Ghost. Look at covers for Witching Hour. Nick Cardi was unexpected. Nick Cardi's horror covers, that guy could do it all. He could do superhero. He could do Western. One of his favorite covers of all time is Batlash 2, which is a Western. Cardi himself, that was one of his favorite covers. Western, superhero, romance. He's a great romance artist. And during the mid-'70s there, he was DC's principal cover artist, where he was doing almost the entire line of DC Comics.
It's really cool to look at his art and his covers next to some of the other stuff that was coming out back then. Now, obviously, there were great artists when Nick Cardi was doing his thing, but he just had an art style that seems so modern. Like the way that he would frame that. The one that I'm thinking of in particular is the Aquaman Black Manta cover. I think it's like 42 or something like that. But just an amazing eye for like framing a subject in his covers is so cool.
And maybe the coolest thing about him is during World War II, he was driving Sherman tanks in the European theater of World War II, and he was born Nicholas Viscardi. So he was in World War II driving Sherman tanks. So awesome dude,
badass. Well, yeah, guys, that's what I got to show you today.
Nice.
I love it.
Right.
I love
Good
the
stuff.
oddball stuff. That's what, got a whole box of oddball stuff. We got Joey Buttafuoco and Amy Fisher comics and some of the great romance books that make me laugh. Oh yeah, it's good to have the oddball stuff.
Vegetable lover.
Vegetable lover. Yep. Don't have amputee.
Somebody's favorite.
Lick lap.
Lick lap. That's the house.
Yeah.
Can't even show that one on the show.
Can't show that one on there.
Can barely describe it.
All right, Dan, how about you? Let's have you go next.
All right. Well, yeah, since I wasn't on last week, I got 2 weeks of new pulls. I'm just gonna go straight into back issues after that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I got JSA 6, and I've actually caught up and read all of these except for one. JSA 6. It came out last week, so spoiler, they pulled my boy Wildcat. So it's Wildcat, he's his whole, one thing is 9 lives and it's comics. So few people ever stay dead, but still I'm like,
he won't be dead.
Yeah.
He'll come back.
At some point, yeah, but at the same time, they do have Yolanda in this series too. So though it would be nice to see his son in it as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Adam Project number 4, I can't remember if this is 5 or 6 issues. I think it might be just.
Can't remember either. One of the biggest dicks in comics, Major Force.
Yeah. This is the only one I haven't read, Green Lantern Corps number 2, or 3, because I, for whatever reason, forgot to get issue 2. And so I still got to get that before I can read this one. And I was asking Sal, I didn't know if this is a mini series or an ongoing, and he thinks it might be a mini series. But remember when they used to do miniseries, it would always be like 1 of 6, 2 of 6, so you would know. And I don't know why they stopped doing that years ago. So now you're not really knowing. So I wanted to ask you guys what your thoughts on it were. I would think that if they let people know off the bat, like if they could just look at the, didn't read stuff online or whatever, like if they could just look at the cover and see, 1 of 5, 1 of 6, it might make them more apt to buy a first issue if they know, all right, well, if it ends up being not great, like I'm not on the hook for, an ongoing thing. I'm only committed to, 5 issues or 6 issues. Like, do you think if they started doing that again, it would help sales on some of these books or hurt them? Or
I think that's a valid assumption. I think people are more apt to pick up a mini and give it a chance than a new ongoing.
It might work for me. I'm not like you could see. I'm not really a pull box guy. I really dig back issues, but that might work for me. To just say like, hey, if you want to just spend a couple bucks and get a complete story, all you got to do is get these 6. Like that would be great.
So I could see that working for issue 1, but let's say it's like on issue 5 of 6. Someone's not going to pick up 5 and be like, oh, it's a mini. Well, I could get the 4 issues, but then I got to hunt for, track down the other 4 issues. Then I got to, grab it all at once.
But you have that problem with ongoing runs too.
True.
Yeah, and at the same, like they're not, probably not having to hunt them down, and they'd probably be able to get, if it's 5 issues, they'd probably be able to get, if not the previous 4, like probably at least the previous, 3 or so before it.
Just on one side of the equation.
But yeah, I'm just looking at it for someone like me that's limited. I can't even buy all the books that I want to get because it's limited disposable income, especially right now. That if I saw an issue 1 and I'm like, all right, well, it's a mini series, I'll give it a shot. I just feel like sales would probably be better on some of these. And then as we've seen before, they've had books that were supposed to be mini series and just the sales were so good. They said, hey, we're going to keep it as an ongoing. And, at that point you could look at it and say, well, I was only in it for the miniseries. I'm just going to stop here. Or you could say, you know what? I'm hooked. I'm in for it if they keep it going. I just think it, if they put it on the cover where you knew right off the bat, what, and you didn't have to like look up stuff online or ask around, hey, is this ongoing or a mini? I feel like it would help sales.
I'll agree with that.
Me too.
Yeah, I think I do as well.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of Aquaman number 4. Yeah, that. Yeah, Something Killing the Children was only supposed to be a mini series and proved popular enough that they made it an ongoing and pretty damn good.
Stay with Poison Ivy. They did it too.
Yeah. Yeah, because it happens occasionally. If the mini sells really well, they're just like, hey, you know what? We're going to keep this going. One of the things I love, not the cover itself, but the thing above the top cover is one of my favorites I saw, was on the last issue of Transformers, issue 80 for Marvel, where it said at the top, issue 80 of a 4-issue limited series.
That was funny.
I always thought that was really cool. The overall cover to it's okay. It's not really spectacular, but just that little blurb on there I thought was super cool. The last of my new DC books, and this book's so much fun. DC versus Vampires, World War V, issue 8.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's such a ridiculous fun read. Yeah, that is a problem with Something's Killing the Children. Sometimes it does go on these breaks where it's just a couple months will go by. Same thing for Department of Truth too. Like it'll be coming out, then all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, you'll see another issue in 6 or 7 months. Like, okay,
thanks.
Yeah. For indies, I got Pop Kill number 2.
Fun book.
Grenade beer.
And this is, remember when I was asking, we were saying we didn't know if this was a sequel to the miniseries that they did on Kickstarter.
It must be.
No, this is the actual one that they did from Kickstarter.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's what I asked him when I interviewed him the other day.
Okay.
Yeah, or I figured out beforehand that it was because I looked up the original one online and looked at the first couple pages. Like, all right, it's the same. So apparently, someone went to one of the people he knows went to Mad Cave, was like, hey, would you be interested in this? And they said, yeah. So they worked out the deal to publish it. And the deal Mad Cave said, well, we want all new covers. And Palmiotti said, well, I was going to do that anyways because I want to keep the covers we did specific for the Kickstarter since those people backed it. But he said that it's actually been selling well for him. And I asked him if there was any chance of Mad Cave, like, reprinting any of the other Kickstarters that they've done before. And he said that this one's looking pretty good. So they may, do some of those. And I've seen the Hughes cover for issue 3, and it looks really good.
It does.
And he said they haven't revealed the image yet, but he said there's a Hughes cover that's going to be for issue 4 that's really spectacular looking. So I'm looking forward to that.
I considered buying one of the earlier ones from the original Kickstarter that was a naked cover, topless cover. It looked very much like Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
That's a hot looking book. But
I actually mentioned that when I did the interview. I was like, yeah, I know Gary wants a copy of that. Jimmy was like, yeah, I think we got like 5 copies of it left. So they still got them on their Paper Films website, though. They are not cheap.
Yeah. The one I saw was 100, like 120, I think, and I almost pulled the trigger.
Oh, it's significantly more than that now.
Yeah, I know.
Now they're doing the Kickstarter now, the GI or not
Robot Painkiller Jane.
It's a Painkiller Jane GI robot. It's a 2-issue mini, and one of the things that you can back on there is 2 variant cover for each issue that Amanda Connor's doing, and they haven't revealed the covers, but it's the same thing. It's going to be the naked covers. So if you want me to back it for you, let me know. There's like 4 days left in the campaign. But knowing what this stuff goes for on the back issue market, it's like $100 for it now, but it will significantly go up in value afterwards. And she autographs them too.
Nice.
Lucky Devils #3. This is a really interesting book.
Yeah.
The whole concept of the demons basically trying to break hell. Oh, they have a facsimile of it come out next week? Of Action 1, I guess?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be the regular size, too.
Oh, nice.
The original.
Some comic group, somebody put a post up the other day asking, like, if you could go buy any comic that's ever come out for the original cover price, what would you get? And some people are like, oh, I'd get this or that. And one guy, I agree. One guy put up, he's like, the answer has to be Action 1. And I said, yeah, it's got to be Action 1. Like,
yeah, of course
the return on investment is just ridiculous. I would buy Action 1, turn it around and for cover price, turn it around and sell it, use some of that money to go buy whatever other book it is I want, and still have a ridiculous amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know you were rolling in that kind of money.
Wow.
He's a player. He's got it.
That's good.
He's working the system.
He's got the pop kills?
No, he said Action 1 next week. He said OG. All right, well, you know what, Adam? That commission I'm working on for you, $2,000. Yeah, that's what I thought. Transformers 19. Get some backstory on Megatron on this. That's pretty cool. Him just beating the shit out of a bunch of Sharkticons for a while. I was gonna say, if you were that rich, then yeah, the price of the commission you have me doing for you would grow exponentially.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't feel comfortable even being in the same room as a near mint copy of Action 1. I don't want any part of that.
So if I had a near mint copy of Action 1, I would sell that sucker, and then I would buy like a 3.0 Action 1 so I could have one.
Yeah.
Well, somebody put up another thing. They're like, you can have any 2 of these books in your collection. They list like Action 1, Detective 1. I'm trying to think.
Detective 27.
Or Detective 27. They also listed the first was it All-Star #3?
That's a Grail book for me. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what were some Marvel Comics #1 and
Cap 1.
Cap 1 has to be on there,
Cap
right?
1.
No, it wasn't Cap 1. It was All Winners. What was the first appearance of the All Winners squad? It was All Winners like 19, I think. I think that was the All Winners Comics 19, I think, was the first appearance of the All Winners squad. And I was like, well, if I'm getting books to sell, I would, if I have them when I'm going to sell them, it would obviously be Action 1 and Detective 27. Like, if it's books that I'm going to have in my personal collection, it'd be pretty cool to have Marvel Comics 1 and All-Star number 3. But, yeah, $4.99 is way more affordable than $4 million. Yeah. Also got Indies got Hornsby and Halo.
I like that book.
Number 5. Yeah, all the Ghost Machine books are so good.
Every damn one. Yep.
Too bad we have a verbal contract, or not a verbal contract. I have it in text message. Hyde Street number 5, which different artist on this one. It's the same artist that did the Devour one shot, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Now, did that book just come out?
Yeah, this is the one that came out last week.
We didn't get any Hyde Street then. I'll have to talk to Rob about that.
Yeah, it's the character from Devour, and it's
the matinee idol or the matinee monster. It looks
no. That was the issue before.
Oh, okay.
Matinee monster was the issue before. This is 5. It's remember her from the Devour.
Yeah, we did not get that in.
Oh. Well, if you, I assume that you'll be getting in, but if you talk to Rob for whatever reason, let me know. I'll see if there's any more copies at the shop.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's a different artist on this. Like I said, it's, I think it's the artist that did the art for Devour, because that's
because they're dealing with her.
Yeah, but it goes into her backstory about why she's on Hyde Street.
Nice.
I'll agree with you, Pam. I mean, I'm biased because Cap's my favorite character. I know Hagan probably, same too. I would take a Cap 1 over. I would take the Action 1. I would sell that, use the money to buy Cap 1, and then the rest of the money for something else. That's
a near mint copy of Cap 1 or Action 1. I'm taking the near mint Action 1. I'm selling it. I'm buying like a 1.0 Cap 1. And then I'm using the rest of my millions of dollars to, do any number of things with. But yeah, no, the smart money is in Action 1, like by far.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's always going to be. One book, like the one book would be Action 1. I would sell that. I would buy the other book that I would really want and still have a ridiculous amount of money to do all kinds of other stuff with. Yeah,
like if you're somebody that says that like you would rather have a giant size X-Men 1 over like an Action 1, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, but you're an idiot.
Yeah, just because they're saying what book would you want, it doesn't mean you have to keep it.
Yeah, I would. If I had a near mint copy, I would buy another copy of Action 1. It just wouldn't be as near mint. But just for the historical purposes, Action 1 is something that's, incredibly important because it begat everything else.
So is Robert Garcia, I know there's a congressman that always like promotes comics and, tries to do stuff with Congress. Is that the same guy? Because that's pretty cool to be sworn in with a copy of Action 1. I don't know. Did he have to provide it, or find someone, or who provided the copy of it for him to use for that?
That's pretty cool. Library of Congress has one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Patrick Leahy of Vermont was a big Batman fan, and he's got an extensive Batman collection.
All right. Last indie book I got is Geiger 13, which goes into her past a bit and sets up the next issue. Looks like it's going to be real good. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet. I look forward to it too.
All right, I won't spoil it for you, but
don't.
And then on to the Marvel stuff. I got this one variant cover for Amazing Spider-Man 1. I don't know which variant it is, but it's a cool looking cover.
Yeah, that is a neat cover. It's not Bermejo, but it sure does look like him.
No, it's I forget who the artist is, but yeah, it reminds me of the old TV show.
Yeah, same with Hector Hammond.
Yeah, the Nick Hammond. Now, he doesn't have the belt on like Nick Hammond did, but like the way what?
I got the name messed up. I said Hector Hammond. That's not him.
Nicholas.
Well, Nicholas
Yeah.
Hammond, Nicholas Hammond was the one that played Spider-Man, the TV
Right.
show. But he
Right.
has like the way the web slingers or web shooters are on this.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the guys. Yeah, it was. It's a really cool cover. The issue to me was a bit of a disappointment. I was like, all right, they're doing another fresh start. I like Pepe Larraz, but I didn't think the art was that great in this. The story was just kind of I guess Peter's dating some girl that works at that volunteers wherever Aunt May is at. All right, Mr. Keith says it was from the Library of Congress.
Yeah.
And Adam said the same thing, Library of Congress.
Mm-hmm.
If I were him, I would have been like, screw Congress, take it and run. Be like, it's mine, I'm gone. But yeah, I just, I picked up issue 1. I'm like, all right, I'll get it. I'll give it a try. Not really interested in picking up issue 2, honestly. Wait until they stop screwing around with Peter and Mary Jane and all this nonsense they're doing, and just stick with my
issue 1000. That's my prediction. Issue 1000, Peter and Mary Jane will be back together.
Yeah, well, it's 965 now, so we got 35 issues. So we got about 3 years. So we'll see. I told him at the shop the way I would write it is I would get to the end of issue 1000 and then just have like a Bob Newhart thing, like Peter just wake up and be like, man, you won't believe the dream I just had, and then have whoever he's dating with him throughout the issue, and then have like Mary Jane roll over and go, what's going on? And so people are like, oh, what? And then he would just spend about a page summarizing the past like 20 years, like, oh man, we made this deal with the devil, and and this and that, like, and there was, it ended up be like, and there was this guy Paul, and she'd be like, Paul the barista at the coffee shop. You're like, yeah. You're not allowed to go to that coffee shop anymore. But just have it be like that, and then have Mary Jane go, God, your life is so weird. Just go back to sleep, and then pick up issue 1001 like they've been together the entire time.
Yeah.
That would be what I would do, and I'm sure everybody would hate it, but I would love it.
I think nobody would care if they were back together. That's what would matter. Yeah.
Was all a dream. Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. That was the one Bob Newhart show, the one where he ran the bed and breakfast, the inn. The last episode was he woke up and was like, oh, you won't believe this dream, and then the woman beside him wasn't his wife from that show, it was his wife from the previous Bob Newhart show, and he just gave her this quick like minute rundown of everything that happened in the show, and she was like, go back to bed. They kind of did a parody of it at the end of Breaking Bad on the, it was like a DVD scene where they did it where Bryan Cranston woke up and it was the wife that, that played Lois and Malcolm in the Middle. And he was like, oh, I was this drug kingpin and this. And she's like, that's nice, Hal. Go back to bed. Mm-hmm. Derailed there. West Coast Avengers 6. Because they're obstinate dicks and because all the writers that they put on Marvel are unhappy because they can't have successful relationships of their own. So they have to make, Peter and Mary Jane, and therefore the fans suffer.
Yep.
And same thing.
I totally agree with that.
And all the editorial people that run Spider-Man, because they're a bunch of dicks. And yeah, so this was an interesting issue, kind of, had some good stuff with the new good guy. Then where is he there? The new good guy Ultron that's on the West Coast Avengers. And then next issue, we're getting Wonder Man. He showed up at the end of this issue, and we're getting him in the next one. So that ought to
not happy.
Yes. Maybe they can convince him to stick around. That would be cool.
That would be great.
This was Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu #7. I keep saying it, man. Jed McKay is such a goddamn good writer because he actually makes me care about a worthless character like 8-Ball. And he writes it so well that now, like, when they put him in danger, I'm like, oh, man, don't kill 8-Ball. Like, and it's just, God, Moon Knight's been so good since he restarted it a few years ago. So good. Everybody should be reading it. Yeah, I don't know why they can't, I give the fans what they want. Sometimes it's not good, but just give us what we want. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. No more Zeb Wells. I mean, if I lost what he lost, I'd be pretty bitter too. But all right, got the icon cover for.
There you go. That's nice.
Yeah, because I'm a big Todd Nauck fan. So, as far as all the '90s costume redesigns, this one wasn't as bad as a lot of them. The only thing that's really terrible about it, I think, is these like shoulder pads was really stupid, especially for a character like Daredevil that's all about being acrobatic and movement. But the rest of the costumes, not that bad.
Yeah, and the guy who's the guy who has the metal shoulder pads clinking and clanking near his head is the one that has super hearing and relies on that to see. That's stupendous. That's great.
But especially when he's like, swinging around the city and doing all these acrobatic moves, you think that that these big bulky shoulder pads would be, would be cumbersome. Like I get it, on the thighs, and here, like, yeah, that's smart. That's not really going to hinder you or anything. But other than that, it's actually a decent costume design. It's not like some of those really terrible ones from the '80s, from the '90s, like Wonder Woman or Thor, where they're like, hey, how about a bare midriff for Thor? Like, and the last new book I got is also a Daredevil one, Daredevil Cold Day in Hell 1, which was so good. Really looking forward to the second issue of this now. So they set up, this future world where he's in, where he's, this isn't a spoiler. This is how they sold the book, where he's now just a guy and he's lost his powers. And then something happens where he gets his powers back. And you see, there's been some war that's taken place and is still kind of going on. And he wasn't a part of it because he'd lost his powers. And now he gets them back, has this decision he has to make. But yeah, this was super good. And it's only 3 issues. So, but again, say, hey, look, one of 3. So if you're wondering whether it's worth it to get, you're only on the hook for 3 issues. But damn, he doesn't look that bad, Booge. And then now I do have a couple back issues too. These ones I've had for a while. I got them at LotCon last year, but since Hagan was showing off ridiculous books, and he said he likes ridiculous books, and these were within arm's reach, I thought I would show them because I thought you would appreciate them. So it is Man-Eating Cow #1.
Amazing. You love to see it.
Yes. And Man-Eating Cow #2.
Still amazing. And you still love to see it.
Yeah, and then still skipped a couple issues because they didn't have them all, so I got to get the rest of. But Man-Eating Cow #8. So this is a book that actually ran for a little bit, not a long time. And it's funny because, they realize pretty quick when you read it, they realize pretty quick there's only so much we can do with this concept of a cow that eats people.
Right.
So they kind of quickly pivoted to him just being in the book, in the sense that he's just kind of in the background while like other stuff is kind of going on. But it's the Tick universe. So, Man-Eating Cow, the Tick, Paul the Samurai. Like I always get those books when I come across them because they're just super fun.
Nice.
I mean, he kind of did that black suit that he had for Shadowland, where it was black and then just had the red DD on the chest and then the red eyes. Which I think is going to be in season 2 of the show, so that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been digging the show too.
Oh, it's so good. Now, 2 back issues I actually did just get. It's actually, I guess, we'll just say kismet that you're on the show this week, Hagan, because I know you'll dig this. It's a Captain America ash can.
I am really, really looking for that. Yeah. I haven't even seen that.
I got it on eBay. I happened to just be looking at other stuff on there and found it, and I had a couple of them on my watch list, and I got this one. I finally got it for like $4. plus a couple dollars shipping. But I had this poster, not with this, not with the logo and stuff, but just this awesome Drew Jusko poster. I had this hanging on my wall for years when I was a kid. I always thought, man, that's such a cool painting. And it's not a news story in it. It just reprints little bits of, kind of tells Cap's history, but it's all in like red, white, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Which is, which is pretty cool. So it was, it's a nice, it's a cool, fun little thing to have. They said there's a bunch of them on eBay. They're only, you can get it for less than $10. Probably right around $10 for the price of it or shipping. I've never seen it at a show or in a store. So, and again, as a cat fan, I'm always going to dig through cat boxes. So I've never seen it at one of them. So I snagged it up off of there. But yeah, that is, that's a neat little one to have. Yeah, shout out. Yeah, that whole storyline was pretty cool. And then I got this book from 65, I think, in 1965. It is Magnus Robot Fighter, issue 10. And I don't know.
That's cool.
If any of you know what the significance of this one is. I don't know, Gary, you would be the one I thought might know.
I never collected Magnus, so I have no idea.
It is, and it's not, it's not professional thing. It's just fan art because there's this page in it that's a robot gallery where they just had fans of it, draw, send in their drawings of robots. But still, even as fan art, it is still the first published art in a comic from Walt Simonson.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Walt Simonson, College Park, Maryland.
Nice.
And that's even his signature there.
Yeah, right, with the O. Yeah.
With this little robot. So this Magnus Robot Fighter 10 from 1965, the first published comic art of the great legendary Walt Simonson.
Very nice.
And that was just one of those things. I happened to be doing research on something else months ago and found that little thing. I'm like, that'd be a cool book to own. And again, it was something I got off of eBay, and I had a few of them on my watch list, and it was just, all right, waiting for one to come up for a good price, price I was willing to pay. So again, got that for like $10, and that'll be a pretty cool one to have. Maybe take him to get it to sign.
Yeah, that would be
Very
all
cool.
Right.
That is it for me.
All right, I will go next. There we go. All right, so it's kind of a light week for me. I only got a few things to show off. I got Uncanny X-Men number 13. All right, I do have Amazing Spider-Man number 1. It's the full sort of wraparound cover, as you can see. Lots of action going on in there.
That's cool.
I do have a lot of I do have a lot of variants coming from Heroes Corner Comics. So they'll be coming soon. I think I'm getting that box on Monday. So,
how many did you get for Spider-Man?
I got about 10 of them. I think
10 of them.
There's 40. There was 40 altogether, but I only think I got about like 10. All right, so
only got 10.
Only got 10.
I only bought 10 copies of the same comic for different covers.
That's right, because I'm a variant whore. I admit it. So, Incredible Hulk number 24. Got that. Loving that. I also got the Green Lantern Corps, Green Lantern Corps number 3. Sorry, can't talk tonight. But yep, I have not read this yet, but I'm enjoying it. 1 and 2 were good, so that's definitely going to stay on the list. All right, so speaking of facsimiles and foily goodness, I got the Star Wars number 1. Little facsimile, little foily goodness.
And here's the funny thing about that: when we went to the shop, I pointed, but they put the little the incentive covers, behind the counter on the little
the rack
shelf behind the
yeah.
counter. And so I showed Sal, I was like, oh, look at all that foil stuff this week. He's like, yeah. And I pointed, I forget what, I think it was a Spider-Man one or something. I was like, oh, yeah. You're like, yeah, I don't know. He goes, oh, but that Star Wars one. And then John, the guy that runs the shop, hands him his books. He's like, I put some foily goodness in there for you. And it was the foil
Star Wars
one.
Yep. Like, well, I have to take it now. So, speaking of Spider-Man variants, here's another one, and this is also a foily good. This one, as you can see, the webbing is kind of foiled. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
But you know what? That's good when you have a shop that actually, when your shop, the people like actually know you and will put stuff in, and let you know, like if we put stuff in, you don't have to buy it, but they're like, hey, I thought you might dig this.
Right. Exactly. And these are from Dan. He got these for me. Picked these up. These are the Virgin variant for Batman 158. So the start of Hush 2. Was this 158? If I remember right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see if that was a yeah. There we go. A little foily goodness on that. And the back is also a little foily good action. So gotta love that. Always a sucker for the foily action.
And for anybody that ever sends foil covers to CGC to get graded, know this: they will ding your grade if it has fingerprints on it. They won't wipe them off. So if you're sending a foil book to get graded, make sure when you're packaging up that you have like gloves on when you do it, and make sure that you wipe any fingerprints off of it before you send it.
Yep, 100%. 100%. Use the microfiber towel. It takes the fingerprints right off.
Yeah, right, so come on, beach it. Use soap and water. Just fill your sink up with soapy water.
Hot soapy water.
Hot soapy water. Dip it in there, pull it out, let it air dry, and then send it off. You'll be
the
golden.
Safest thing to do is to use a pressure washer, so that way you know that you get all the oil out of the fibers of the book.
There you go.
Exactly. Very smart. Very smart.
Yep.
This is what you come to us for these expert tips.
This is legal advice.
Yep. All right. So Dan also got me this one. This is the glow in the dark cover, which is actually pretty cool.
Yes.
So there we go.
Yeah, it looks really cool. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure you can Google pictures of what it looks like. It you know what? I might be able to. Yeah, I don't have the picture on my phone anymore. I don't want to dig through it and send it and put it on here. But just Google it. It looks pretty cool. It's got a bunch of bats flying around, and that paper that's on there. If it's right where you're like worried about the value of it or grading it, you can just tear the paper off, because CGC, all those books like the sketch covers or any of the glow in the dark ones where they put that paper on, CGC doesn't count that as part of the book. So if you just pull it off, as long as you don't damage the book doing it, it's not going to get any grade.
That's right. That's right. All right. So that's all I have for this week. I actually have no back issues. So before we jump to Uncle Gary, let's show off what we're actually giving away for the month of month of April. So check this out. We got the Rand Thanagar War. This is the run of that. I believe it was 1 through 6, and this is also the Avengers Thunderbolts run as well. So what you got to do to win this is type in #giveaway in the chat, or send us a screenshot showing you subscribed, or if you're already a member at that only $1 a month, you're automatically entered in the win. So do that, and at the end of the month, Jamie spins that big wheel of death, and if you land on it, you win this for this month. So do it. #giveaway.
And remember, if you are within 100 miles of the DMV, Sal will hand deliver them to you, and will
these.
No, Jamie will send them to Sal, who will hand deliver them to you and give you a 30-minute foot massage.
Oh, that is incorrect.
While you read them.
Okay,
yeah, it's incorrect. It will be 45 minutes.
Is he going to massage somebody's feet, or he's going to use his feet to massage somebody?
It's up to I think that's up to the person. I think that's up to the person. Sal said it's all on the table.
Wow. Okay, so moving on. Uncle Gary,
essential oils with him.
Essential oils. That's right. Mm-hmm. Uncle Gary, where'd you get this week?
Oh, was I supposed to get books this week? Okay, well, in that case,
remember though, Sal will not use baby oil or anything when he's using it. He will use Italian vinaigrette while he massages your feet.
Extra virgin olive oil.
All right. Independent books.
That's the booze.
Haunt of Fear. All right. So this finishes the Haunt of Fear run from EC 25 through 28. So,
Nice.
Again, these are why comics were almost banned. So, these good old ECs. So,
is that an oversized book? Is that
mhm,
oversized?
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's oversized. It is oversized. So, Haunt of Fear. Battle Action, that's also oversized.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a 2000. That's a.
Sorry, Pam.
Yeah, what Pam say? Oh,
She's out of range for the foot rub.
Out of range.
You know what? I think Sal might make an exception for a loyal follower like you, that he'd be willing to meet you at a halfway point.
Okay, the only regular issue that I got from Independent was this, so I'm very distraught that I didn't get Hyde Street, so I'll have to rectify that.
Is that so? I know you've said the shop has had issues with.
It's usually Dynamite. It's usually
yeah.
Dynamite. It's usually whatever's coming through Diamond, and
Right.
Image doesn't come through Diamond, so I don't know what the deal was with that one. We'll have to see.
Right.
What's the cheapest hotel near Sal? The Dewdrop Inn. Okay, Marvel books. A trade that I've been, I encourage everybody to get because it's got the stories of Wolverine taking on the mob in this. That
Oh yeah.
my
Yep.
favorite Wolverine stories ever, Law of the Jungle. So it's got that storyline, and it's got a lot of other stuff. So even though I have Law of the Jungle, and that's out of print now, I bought this again to support it. This is Wolverine 173 to 189. So this finishes volume 2, the long running.
Nightcrawler has the best line in that at the end or towards the end, where Wolverine's like, "Would you stop me?" He's like, "It's like no,
but I would try.
But I would try. I would die trying."
That's right. So just great stuff. Wow. Well, there you go.
Sal, you ever see the movie Biodome where with Pauly Shore and I forget, was it Stephen Baldwin? And
Yeah.
he's making Stephen Baldwin give him a foot massage, and he gets to the corn and he tells Stephen Baldwin, "Stop messing around, just bite it."
That's
Right.
awful.
I also got the Star Wars one. I now this is a book I didn't get the original of. I just for whatever reason I didn't, even though I like Star Wars, I didn't get the original comics, and now I'll have a copy of it, so that's fine. And I never felt like going back and getting this, spending the money on it. Also the Spider-Man one. And unlike Dan, no matter how bad it gets, I will buy this book. I will never stop.
I would too if I had all of them.
So I'm locked into it. X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that's such a good read.
Now that's an interesting question though. Is there anything that they could do where you would just look at it 1 month and be like, I just can't.
No.
You would buy it, shelve it.
Absolutely. Even if even if the covers were god awful, if Frank Miller was doing the cover art, and they sucked, I'm still buying them because I got every issue, and I'm not breaking that run. Daredevil, and that was it for Marvel. For DC, I'm a little late picking this up. I've had it in my box for a while. The Last Days of Lex Luthor, so I'm late picking it up, but they were late printing it, so
a little bit.
Yeah.
What was it, 18 months or something?
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
got a little leeway to read that one, so because
Yeah.
Did you read it yet?
No,
I haven't
I've got to
read mine
reread
either.
I've got to reread number 1 to figure out what the hell it is.
Well, number 2 does have the Legion in it, so I'm sure you'll read that.
I'll love that.
Spoiler alert.
This is a great book.
Oh yeah.
From the Dark Knights of Steel all winter. This is a great book. And there's a backup story in here that was fantastic too. So can't recommend that highly enough.
Got a hardcover?
Yeah, it's a hardcover. Yeah. I'm supporting the finest team ups. So this has got Brave and the Bold team ups. It's got DC Comics Presents team ups. The Brave and the Bold ones I have, the originals I haven't collected, but the DC, the DC Comics Presents, I have the originals, but but they've never collected them like this. So this is just fun, and I like to support this. This is DC's answer to Marvel's Epic line. So it's about time. Good job, DC. This is for Swartzlander. This is Chris's Legion or
Nice
JSA
job.
book. Yeah, from last week. So Green Lantern Corps, Absolute Batman.
That's a guest artist, right? How is it compared to the regular?
I haven't read it. I have no idea. Don't like it. Not my style. Don't dig
That was quick. No. Nah.
it. Yep. Creature Commandos. I really like this book. Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as you were saying on Thursday.
The first arc was really good, and in this arc, Scarface, the doll, has possessed an entire building
Oh,
of people, and it's just a radical, cool idea.
is that a Mike Mignola cover on it?
No, kind of looks like it, but I don't believe it is.
Oh.
Kind of looks like it. You see the vampires. Yep. It's let's see, all winter. Dark Knights of Steel, all winter. Yep. So it's good stuff.
And that was the second, because
The second one. Dark Knights of Steel had a 12-issue run, and this is like a spin-off of it. I got some shiny goodness too of this great facsimile edition of Superman 233. Looks good with the shiny.
Nice.
It's great Neil Adams cover. The significance of this is the Kryptonite No More issue, or Nevermore issue.
Right.
So it's just a great Neil Adams issue. This is when they eliminated Kryptonite because Superman's not powerful enough. So let's eliminate all the Kryptonite. So, but it's just a great iconic cover. I have the original, but that was just cool to get that. Batman and Robin and Action. There's the Action. And also Aquaman 4 and Aquaman 4.
That's a cool cover.
That's a cool cover.
That is a neat cover.
So did they explain how he has those water powers, or no?
I think this is from the scrambling of powers.
It's the powers that Mara had, but when they took the powers and gave them back, she didn't get them back. They went to him.
Yeah. I don't know the significance of this with his little starfish friend on his shoulder, but it's an Aquaman variant, so I'm going to get it anyway. And then this one.
Oh, that one's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's DNA. So that does it for those, and then I got 1.5 back issues. This is the half. Dark Patterns is really good, and the first arc was really disturbing with the. So this is a variant. This is a 1 in. I think this was a 1 in 25 maybe. Action Comics 1066. So that was Action Comics 1085. So it's been a little bit slow cover.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So he looks like he's beaten up the whole bar. Everybody's so he's getting ready to have his feast now. So that Lobo variant. And then this is a back issue.
We're finally going to get to see Momoa play him.
Mm-hmm. This is Wonder Woman 329.
That's a cool cover.
This is the last issue of Volume 1. So I had this, but I had it in condition where it needed to be pressed, and it's cheaper for me to just buy a $2 copy. That's all I paid for, than to have the book pressed for $10. So that other copy I have will go into the trade pile for Damien. So that's it for my.
That's a really good cover.
Back issues. Yeah, it was a good cover.
All right, very cool. Very cool. Let's see. Hagan, do you have anything else that you'd like to add for us tonight?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Just no, I'm good.
Hagan, next time I know you're going to be on, you'll get some Nick Carty Ghost or Witching Hour covers.
Yes.
Very cool.
All right, I guess we can go ahead and wrap up the Comics Unleashed part of the show. Stick around though, because we have Uncle Gary's showcase coming up, and Uncle Gary, I'm going to put you up big screen again because this is your show, baby. This is your
Here we
showcase
go.
coming up. What's our secret words? Let people ponder on that one.
Shadowy doppelgangers, but if you want it to be shadowy gangbangers, you can do that too.
All right.
But shadowy doppelgangers.
All right, there's your hint, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that for a minute while we go ahead and kick this off. We'll see you guys in about, what's that? Bobo was born to be Lobo. Yes, Boosh. Yes, he was.
Yeah, on a side note, we took my daughter to see the Minecraft movie today, and he's one of the main characters in it.
Yeah.
I saw the trailers for it, and I'm like, all right, she loves playing Minecraft on her iPad. She'll enjoy it. And I saw the trailers. So, yeah, all right, this looks like it'll be okay. The movie was hysterical. It was like laugh out loud funny all throughout it, man. Jack Black's funny. And Jason Momoa was absolutely hysterical in it. So even if you don't have a big interest in it, I would recommend going to see it. The movie is really, really funny. She liked it enough. I'm sure that we're probably going to go see it at least one more time in the theater. I took her to see the damn Mario Brothers movie 5 times in the theater. She liked it so much. But this one is, it was really funny. And if you're not a Minecraft fan, I haven't played it, so I don't really know much about it other than what she tells me playing it. But it was really good.
All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and kick off for Uncle Gary's showcase. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Right with you. All right. For the showcase today, code word is shadowy doppelgangers. All right, Dan, what does that mean?
The only thing I know it's wrong. The only thing I could think about is like the shadow creatures flying around in Crisis on Infinite Earths, but I know that can't be it. I just
this is actually a newer book, so that's probably a curveball. I was moving some,
and they're not even really doppelgangers. I just the shadow thing made me think of it. I couldn't think of it.
This book, I was moving some things around and I just looked at it and the covers were so good. So even though it's a more recent book, I figured let's show it off anyway.
Or what was it? Infinity Crusade. Oh, okay. The only other thing I was thinking was Infinity Crusade when they had the demon kind of doppelgangers of the characters.
Yeah, Dark Avengers.
Yep.
Just the covers so fantastic.
Nice. Oh yeah, the Diodato ones.
Yeah,
Diodato. So I saw these covers today, and I'm like, you know what? Let's give these some love. Just so good, and such a great storyline.
Yeah, I read that one little piece of it from for the Namor episode on Thursday.
Oh,
which was great.
Isn't that awesome?
that's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. And God, the Sentry just batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so these Dark Avengers books, oh man, Ares. Look at that. So good. This putting all those bullets right in his chest. Furious.
And they're doing that, the Thunderbolts movie where it has the asterisks at the end of it, and everyone's kind of wondering what it's going to be, and some people think that it'll be this is what it'll be, that at the end of it it'll change the name from like Thunderbolts to Dark Avengers.
Good. I like that Norman there. So all these covers just Diodato is just so good. And during Siege, man. And I got to thinking of these, with how bad Bullseye was as Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just such a piece of crap.
Yeah, like, is that what you said when we did the character of the week episode on him here? Like, he is one of those few characters that has no redeeming quality.
Nothing.
He is an all-time bastard.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, at least some other villains you can look at, like, they might have like a tragic, way that they became a villain, or they might have like a kid. There's something there with Bullseye. It's like it's nothing.
Nothing. He's just a total ass. So that was the 16 regular issues. Here was the annual, and then there was a Dark Avengers special.
Oh, that's
Nice.
Kind of cool with the eyes. Yeah. So anyway, so that was just a little bit of a deviation from what I usually show because it's much more modern. But the covers were so, they took me down memory lane a little bit, and I enjoyed them so much. So Dark Avengers, your more recent showcase.
Well, you know what? Just because you got the big, epic collection of all the gold and silver and bronze and all that, it's like still got new stuff too.
That's right. Show some modern, and all these are very affordable.
Yeah.
So
Most
if anybody
definitely.
wants them,
Yeah.
they won't hurt you to buy them.
Yeah, you could, if you're going to cons, you could probably find one of those dealers where they make the bricks of books where it's a complete series or something.
Yep.
You can probably find that for, that series for probably about $30 or so. I would guess $30-$40, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yeah. Very good. That's probably the shortest showcase we've ever had. That's
That happens
crazy.
sometimes.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes.
It's cold in here.
Yeah, Booze. They're cool covers. Diodato. I dig his stuff. And
Especially
just
that for the
efficiency.
one for issue 1.
Hmm?
So the one for issue 1 is so cool because it's all of them in the shadows, and it was and it's like what the cover was on issue 1 when they relaunched Avengers with Bendis.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah.
it sure was.
All right. All right. I guess we can go ahead and wrap up the show then and call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. We
Do
are
that.
done with showing off our stuff for this week. Once again, I'm your host, Sal the Slab Guy. Joining me as our special guest of honor right there is Hagan from Lettuce Comics. Thank you once again, Hagan, for joining us. We really
Yep.
appreciate that. Love
Absolutely.
having you on, buddy. Anytime
Thanks
you want
for
to come
having
back. Yeah, anytime you want to come back, you just tell us and we'll get you into that schedule. Down below is Dan Kelly, art right over there. And of course, down below is the Ric Flair of comics himself.
Woo!
All right. What was that? Ours is to be kicking some rears to Marvel. Yeah.
I
Aries.
think the last place he
Aries.
appeared was in that Punisher series.
Yeah.
Yes. Now,
Thank you, Richard.
yeah.
Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. Remember to get into that giveaway. Get into that giveaway. Do that hashtag giveaway. Get into all that action. Win some books. Because all year, every month, we're giving away some books.
Hey, Hagan, you want to remind everybody about your let them know again about your show tomorrow? Anyone?
Yeah,
Yes,
so
definitely.
in less than 9 hours, be on my channel, Lettuce Comics on YouTube, to watch me and Nate from Hall Yeah Comics talk to Alan the Comic Collector Geek, and talk his ear off about, I'm sure, stuff that he does not care about, and torture him with our presence for an hour. But grab a cup of coffee and come hang out with us.
What this is from your channel? Is it from your Instagram or YouTube?
It's on YouTube.
Okay. Very good.
Yep.
I guess I will be checking that out as well.
Good deal.
Yep, definitely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. Have a good night. We will see you next week. And of course, Comic Character on Thursday, podcast on
Thank you,
Wednesday.
Bruce.
Who's on the podcast this week?
Oh, it'll be me and Mike with Sonny, and we will be reviewing the 12. If you haven't read the 12, have you read it, Hagan?
I have like issue 3, 4, and 5. I'm looking for 1 and 2 so that I can actually start to read it.
Yeah, it's
But it looks bonkers as all hell.
it is, and it's been collected in a hardback. It's been collected in 2 smaller trades. Dan, have you read it?
I have not. I've read part of it. I haven't read all of it.
And Sal, how about you?
I have read. I have.
Yeah, it's using a lot of public domain characters from the Golden Age, which is really cool. And I'm not going to spoil this at all, but there is a full page shot later in the book that is one of the most jaw-dropping images I've ever read in a comic book. Yeah, Sal, you know where I'm going, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. It's just, so if you ever get the book, do not look ahead, because it will spoil one of the greatest shocks you'll ever have reading a comic.
And then Straczynski wrote it. I mean,
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, and everything he writes is pretty good.
Oh, it's a great book. It is an absolutely Great book. I think Jamie has it. I don't know if he's read it yet, but it'll be interesting to get Sonny's take on that book.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
And then character of the week next week, Deadshot.
Deadshot.
Yes.
Right. Oh, I just got to start that work too.
Yep, indeed. Indeed. And then, of course, next Saturday night, Comics Unleashed. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it.